Hi guys. Okay, so my computer is kind of acting up on me and couldn't get it to record my video and have my audio attached to it. So I'm making my own little concoction with my camera and my screencast. So here goes. I decided to go ahead and make a little presentation on the side to kind of show you guys pictures as we go along through the story. I'm a visual learner, so that's why I went ahead and added the PowerPoint. It's to help you guys know what I'm talking about and for me to remember what I'm supposed to say. Okay, here goes. The story I chose is Thumbelina by Hans Christian Andersen. Thumbelina is a pretty great story. It was one of my favorites growing up, and here goes nothing. Once upon a time, there was a woman who desperately wanted her own child, but was unable to give birth to her own children. One day, a lonely old woman was wandering down the streets, and this lady decided to go ahead and welcome her into her house. She was very grateful for allowing her to come in, and ended up being that she was a witch. The witch came and gave this lady, I'm going to call her Mom because in the story she's Mom, she gave Mom a single seed, and this seed had a special secret. The witch told her to plant the seed and raise it as if it were her own child. Mom went ahead and did as she was told. She said, "Why not? A flower." So she went ahead and she planted the flower, and the very next day it sprouted and grew very rapidly into a beautiful flower. From that flower popped out a little girl. This little girl was the size of a thumb. Mom named her Thumbelina. Thumbelina, from the very start, was very sad that she thought that she was the only little creature of her size. Mom one day decided to go ahead and read her a story she had in her bookshelf. The book was about fairies. Thumbelina became very excited about the book and went to sleep that night very happy. That night, a hideous toad saw her sleeping by a broken window pane and decided what a pretty little wife she would make for my son. She went ahead and stole Thumbelina from her mom and took her to a swamp in the forest. Here, she made her stay on a lily pad so that she couldn't swim away. When Thumbelina woke up the next morning, she was very distraught. She didn't know what was happening until the toads came and told her she was to marry Mrs. Toad's son. Thumbelina was very, very, very upset. She didn't understand why the toads would steal her from her parents. One day, while she was waiting for the toads, Thumbelina decided it was time for her to escape. She made friends with fishes in the sea, and they helped her escape from the toads. The fishes went ahead and took out or detached the lily pad from the bottom of the swamp, and Thumbelina floated away, not having to see the toads ever again. During the whole summer, she was left on the swamp to wander the forest until she found home. She went on her journey for quite a while. Seasons changed, and she was now in winter. When she finally got off the lily pad, her clothes were ripped, they were soaking wet, she was tired, hungry, she was on the verge of freezing to death. Until a field mouse found her and decided to bring her into her home. The field mouse told her to marry the mole. The mole, she said, was a rich and well-educated person who could provide for her and give her all the love she wanted. Thumbelina agreed only because of the hospitality that the field mouse provided for her. She did not really want to marry the mole, but she felt it was her obligation to marry him. One day, when she was out in the top of the field mouse's house, admiring the cornfield, she saw a swallow. The swallow swooped down and came to talk to her. The swallow asked her, "Why do you look so sad?" Thumbelina answered the swallow by saying she was upset and didn't want to marry the mole. The swallow instantly became friends with Thumbelina and decided to help her out. He decided to go ahead and swoop down and take her away from the field mouse and the mole. As they were flying away, the swallow came and told Thumbelina, "Thumbelina, you will not be comfortable living with me. My nest is full of twigs and leaves. It will not be comfortable for you." And he promised her to help her find the perfect house for her. They decided on finding a flower that best suited Thumbelina's personality. As they were flying, they found a field of flowers. In that field of flowers, Thumbelina found a big white flower. She said, "That is the house I want for myself." They swooped down to the flower and were surprised on what they found. They found a little man sleeping in the flower. Thumbelina was so shocked. She believed she was the only little person out there. Without thinking, she said, "What a beautiful man." It startled the little guy that was in the flower. He woke up and was surprised to see Thumbelina there. He woke up and it was love at first sight. He knew right then and there that that was the woman he wanted to marry. He asked Thumbelina for her hand in marriage right there. Turns out he was the king or the prince of fairies. Once he announced that he wanted to marry Thumbelina, an outpour of all the other flowers, they bloomed, and out came little people. Thumbelina was so surprised. Once again, the prince asked, "Will you marry me?" Thumbelina looked around, and she knew that this was going to be different than how she was treated with the toad and the mole, and she gladly accepted. With all the excitement, everyone around them cheered and were happy, and they lived happily ever after. Thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed my little story. Have a good day.